Okay, so that is kind of the brief of that. Let me go through the rest, and it's going to answer a lot of your guys' questions really quickly here. So then, of course, we started to share the product. Again, this is something we created for ourselves. We started an Etsy shop, and people started asking us questions. And one, we just realized the difference. We started to feel not just visually in our results in our scrapbook, but just also the feeling that we felt inside as we scrapbooked, in the sense of fulfillment and joy and that playfulness that kind of came back with the process, the simple process, the back to basics process. We found more joy in different things, but it also, the back to basics allowed us to start using a lot more resources as far as paper go than we ever previously did, and we're happy with the results. So we started to share, and of course the first thing we thought of is like, well, let's go to craft shows, let's just test this out. And we attended our first craft show in the Simple Treasures craft show, which is the pictures on the left there. And then we attended our first Scrapbook Expo show in Riverside, California in 2010. It was the winter. You guys remember the snow? Mm-hmm. the snow, which is on the right. Okay, I'm gonna go through this quickly. It's hard for me not to be like, remember? This is what happens when you open your scrapbook books. You know, you just get
right. You reminisce.
Yeah, you get stuck in the things, and you're like, wait, was I opening it to put pages away or look at pages? Which one? Then of course we just started doing shows. The outlets was the way for us to share. Like, sharing was one of the biggest core values that we had from the very beginning. Was how can we share this, and you know, sharing it with others. Whether that was the process and the product, but also our ideas. That was something that was very important to us from the very beginning, was just sharing freely is what we call it. So, so we wanted to make sure to do that in different ways. So all of those expos, actually 2010, 3 shows, 11, 7 shows, 12 shows, 13, 14 shows, 2014, 15 shows, and 2015, 19 shows. And you'll see that kind of go into different things. I'll let you guys read more of the time. Like I said, you can grab this in the thing, but we kept doing shows and we kept sharing it. And then we started to really, you know, gather together, because at this time we were in different places. Well, Debbie moved to Cedar, where I was, Utah, and we kind of set up shop a little bit there. And Shiloh, you were in Nevada at this time.
Yep.
And no way we were going to move to Nevada. So
I don't blame you.
her husband got you know, resituated in Idaho, and so then we were like, yeah, we can do Idaho.
Idaho's good.
Yeah. So that's actually currently where our shop is, and we just kept traveling with the purpose of sharing. Everything was back to how can we share this with other people. It was I got caught motion sickness. Traveling just, you know, I remember my family teasing me because they know how motion sickness I was as growing up, and they were like, for someone that doesn't like to travel, you sure traveling a lot. Like,
you don't want to sit beside her in a plane when she's pregnant after drinking a cup of hot chocolate.
no.
Nope.
That must be a vivid memory.
She's a lot better now.
I am better now. I can get a little bit better.
For a while.
We're all better now.
And occasionally, I think this Philadelphia trip was like one of maybe 3 out of all the trips that we did. We actually took a day or 2 more just to explore and to like have a little bit of day off. But most of the time it was literally fly in, fly out, just because we all have.
So we get home to our families.
Yeah.
We could be gone so long.
So we continue to travel. And then of course we filed for a patent on our creative process. That was a very interesting process there. We of course upgraded our website. And then at this point it was just more about how can we grow? How can we continue to share? Debbie, I want to say at this point, one of the questions was like, why did you guys decide to consider direct sales? It was before this, because about 2009, about 2010, we started thinking about the direct sales, because we were still in Cedar and we went and saw lawyers and all of these different things. So you want to share a little bit more about that?
I remember distinctly the day I thought we should go direct sales. Somebody had emailed us. We were living in Cedar City, which is where I had moved to. So at least 2 of us were in the same city together as we're trying to start a business. And I had gotten an email from somebody who loved our products a lot and said, I know I could sell these. And for some reason, that email kicked off in me a feeling of this is what we should do. And I remember getting in the car and driving over, Susan, to your house. We were packing for a show, and I was wearing that brown shirt and my handmade tiny floral earrings.
I have a picture of it. Hold on, you keep talking. You keep talking.
I remember sitting out in the car before I walked in, and we were cutting the templates ourselves at that time. So I cut the templates. I had a machine that I cut. I made myself some tiny little floral earrings that I could wear to the shows. And then I don't know why, because it's this picture, but I walked in, I said, don't take a picture of me. I wasn't, you know, she's always doing that. There I am.
It's a nice picture of you, Mom.
Yeah, but it was that day, and that's probably why I remember the exact day, because I went in to tell her, Susan, I got an email from, and this is what she said, and I just felt so strongly, and of course she agreed, but it wasn't the right time.
Well, it just cost a lot of money. So you're going to see in the rest of the timeline, as for those of you that you get it. Yeah, it's, you know, it's a process. We wanted something, it's a visual product, but we also wanted to give the opportunity as stay-at-home moms that we were ourselves raising children. We found this passion and this desire to share something that we love with others. And naturally, of course, it started to help with the income and just different things like that. Especially in 2009, 2010, those were hard years. We don't talk about that often, actually, but like I was on food stamps. We lost our jobs, you know, right after. Debbie was having a really hard time.
Theaters part-time.
Yeah.
And we had been on food stamps because my husband was sick and couldn't work.
And so we really were needing something. And so to have something that you can love and to kind of get out and share it with other people was really a huge blessing, a huge blessing. So we wanted to give that opportunity to other people too, and just have that ability to partner. So we learned a lot about that process. And then of course, that's when we started to really educate ourselves on what was needed. Had to get serious about business plans, how to get serious about you know, all of those financial things, all the business talks. And that's really what we did. A lot of our shows, our income from our shows, we put right back into the business. We put it all back in with the vision of expanding beyond past the shows and past growing in that way. So again, I'm not going to read all these timelines. I'm just giving a highlight because so many people ask questions with the submissions. But oh, that was a big time. 2013, we reproduced and released our first idea book.
I remember that. You laughed at me.
I did?
You did. I remember, because I'm like, I'm being silly. Susan just laughed at me.
What did I laugh at you for?
Oh, God, we got our first idea book delivered straight to a show in California. And I was so excited to see it that I saw the palette sitting there by our booth, and I ran up and I opened it up and I took out a book and I turned around and I read back to you, and you're like, calm down, calm down.
Yes. So, okay, I won't jump course because I know a lot of people have questions about the idea books in general, but it is literally like, I always relate it to like having a child. Like it takes like 9 months of, you know, baking it per se, and then the other. So, so we kept planning, we kept business growing, and we kept, you know, doing different things like that.